What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Hitbox European Championship here on the Pro Dota English channel, brought to you by Alpha Draft Steel Series and esportgaming.com. We have Game 2 between Yellow Submarine and mYinsanity on the way, and Game 1 was rocky, it was rough, but mYinsanity were the ultimate victors. So yeah, it's Yellow Submarine who are not going to face elimination just yet, but really don't want to drop down to the lower bracket, because winner of this one goes to the grand finals. Mike Laura is going to be joined by More Rage Please for the second game. Looks like it is going to be the Bounty Hunter to be banned out this time.
Yeah, very interesting. Probably see Shadow Fiend pick up from MYI here in these 1-2. Thug is very comfortable on it. They also love the Tusk. Spartan is really good playing this Tusk. They usually run him in a dual aggressive off lane, but sometimes just out of the support role. So we'll see what they end up doing. Something to note, Nikwa is back for mYinsanity for this one, so Own going to be replaced by him, not for lack of play. Own definitely played well on that Nyx Assassin in Game 1, but either way, yeah, MYI up 1-0, and they're going to force out a BH ban in this one.
Yeah, Owen actually was maybe one of the overperformers from the mYinsanity side. As far as Nyx Assassin games are concerned, that's the one that you want. That's the ideal. That's the best you're probably ever going to do on Nyx Assassin as far as your early game start is concerned. So Nico has some big shoes to fill, but maybe you could look at the other way. It was like Pone had some big shoes to fill standing in for Nikwa, but yeah, still, it is, pretty much the full, or mostly the full lineup from mYinsanity. It's Skywrath Mage after the Tusk, actually. Direct answer to this Queen of Pain. Not going to be that mid laner just yet, but interesting seeing mYinsanity choose the Skywrath over an Earthshaker. I know Spartan does like the Skywrath Mage, but I would say Shaker probably a little more strong.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit more reliable in the least. Zoning potential is good for the Skywrath Mage, and maybe they plan to roam this Tusk out of the 4 role, so having that Skywrath Mage in lane with a safe lane carry to zone and help him farm is maybe the direction they're going here. Still looking for an offlaner, but yeah, picking it up this early seems a little bit odd to me. But MYI definitely a team that's comfortable with it. Either way, Shadow Fiend's still in the pool. Yellow Submarine already sitting on that Queen of Pain, though. Probably won't end up picking up, and maybe MYI feel like they can get it a little bit later on.
Maybe it's going to be the Shaker. Boom. For the Yellow Submarine side. If you pick Shaker or like Gyrocopter for these picks, usually you're just going to be correct. And there is the Gyrocopter. It seems like this is going to be mYinsanity going for the pretty classic mYinsanity tempo gameplay. That's why you pick up the Skywrath Mage. It's, as I said, a strong poker in lane. It gets Nico Baby his farm, and if you get Nico Baby a faster any item, Blink Dagger, Shadow Blade, whatever it's going to be on whatever hero, then you can start that aggression off correctly. Yellow Submarine, though, this is a really scary mid lane, 1.5 lane from them. No matter who they put towards the mid lane, mYinsanity, it's going to be a little bit rough, perhaps. TA is probably the more resistant hero to this, but yeah, still, Shadow Fiend is a possibility, but I don't know if you want to go up against this combo as a Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, it's going to be rough going in that mid lane, regardless of who they pick up for MYI. You mentioned TA, something Thug is definitely comfortable on. Alina as well, banned up, of course, so he won't be able to pick that up. So those are, I think, his 3 most comfortable heroes, I feel, Lina, TA, and Shadow Fiend. So still wouldn't be surprised to see them pick the Shadow Fiend into it, but it's definitely going to garner a lot of attention in that mid lane, and for that reason, maybe a little bit tough to deal. But they are on the Radiant side, so SF Radiant always a good pick regardless of kind of the lane matchup, since you have that jungle to retreat to and stack up. We're going to see a respect ban from Yes on that Naga Siren for Milan. He wasn't really a game changer as he usually is on that hero, but regardless, probably worth the ban here, especially with them holding the Skywrath Mage already.
The plays from the Naga Siren last game weren't exactly flashy, but they were super consistent. Like, he had a lot of farm by the end of it, and on support Naga Siren, that's something you don't always see. He had a mech really quick in that game.
Yeah.
Granted, they did get off to a really good start. Naga Siren was involved in a lot of that, but if you could force out a respect ban, then you're going to be happy pretty much no matter what. And this time, it would have been a Naga Siren support with a Skywrath Mage support, in which case the Naga Siren just gets so much better. So put Milan in a situation where he can perform to a higher degree, and well, you're probably going to be fearing the Naga Siren just a little bit more. It is going to be the mYinsanity side grabbing a Clockwork, not what I expected, so it is going to be maybe a Tusk going to be played as support.
Yeah, Probably Spartan on the Tusk, Milan, Skywrath, and then you'll see Nico in that off lane with the Clockwork. Of course, great combo with the Mystic Flare. Very good against the Earthshaker. His cast animations absolutely get wrecked by that battery assault. So, Clockwork, don't mind the pickup at all from MY. It's not something they run all that often, but I feel like every time they see it's a good situation, they pick this hero up, and Nico fairly comfortable on it. A little bit more instant disable for Yellow Submarine. Definitely a good ganking lineup there with the Rubik and the Earthshaker. And as you touched on before, Thug very comfortable on this TA, and they'll pick that up for the mid lane.
And they're just looking for that final hero for Nico Baby. For Yellow Submarine, well, they have their two supports lined up, looking for that safe lane carrier. I'm pretty sure, I mean, we clearly know that. mYinsanity like this tempo-based gameplay. Yellow Submarine should definitely know that as well. They need some sort of carry that's not going to take forever to get up. Knowing that Templar Assassin, probably +1 physical damage dealer, is going to be coming. Armor is going to be a little more important. Phantom Lancer is the pick from YSub. Love this pick, mostly because Nico Baby doesn't really tend to play heroes with a lot of AoE, so the last pick probably not going to be, some random AoE hero.
Yeah.
Well, last time was Battle Fury, but still, Phantom Lancer can deal with that pretty well. He is in a really good protective shell, and also there's, in general, just not a lot of AoE for mYinsanity.
Yeah, if I don't see the AM ban here from Yellow Submarine, I'll be really surprised. And they are going to ban it out there, wisely so. I wouldn't be too surprised to see a Slark pickup from MY here. It doesn't deal extremely well with the Phantom Lancer, but it is something Nico's comfortable on. They're actually going to go for, it seems, a safe lane Storm at this point. I haven't seen Nico Baby play this at all. Definitely a decent matchup for him up against the Queen of Pain. Later on, if he gets an early Orchid out of that safe lane, can definitely shut her down alongside the Clockwork. So a lot of mobility here for MYI. Phantom Lancer, though, with the Diffusal Blade, good versus both TA and Storm Spirit. So they are going to have to put a lot of pressure on this PL early on.
That is if the PL gets to a late game stage. The goal of mYinsanity's draft right now is to end the game, or at least make the Phantom Lancer so behind, and then end the game before the Phantom Lancer can actually get going. So it is going to be a very aggressive game coming out from mYinsanity. I don't think anyone should be really surprised about that. But as you said, I don't think I've seen Nico Baby play Storm or TA in a long time. I've been casting him forever, but yeah, it's been a while. It's not really in recent memory. So I like this adaptation here coming out from mYinsanity, getting the jump in with Storm Spirit and Clockwork, and hell, maybe even the Templar Assassin with the flexibility to snowball afterwards. It's a very different gameplay style than the all melee or mostly melee draft of last game. Now they have so many options as to when and where they're going to initiate.
Yeah, they have two target silences if they pick up the Orchid as well with the Mystics or the Ancient Seal and that Orchid. So that'll be very potent. It feels like Yellow Submarine actually going to go for the Nyx Assassin that mYi picked up last game, so we'll see how that works out. Of course, it's very good against the Storm and the Skywrath Mage, who have big intelligence gains, so Mana Burn going to scale pretty well through this one, and they definitely do want to create some space and have a little bit of fighting power early on to keep their Phantom Lancer safe and keep him farming.
The big difference between this Nyx Assassin on the Dire and the last Nyx Assassin is the fact that mYinsanity have the Skywrath Mage, and he's a hero that Nyx Assassin is eventually going to be really well equipped to deal with, since you don't really want to run into that Spike Carapace of the Skywrath Mage, nor do you really want to be mana burned ever. But early on, Nyx Assassin really needs those levels, and it's really hard to get those levels when you're in such a dangerous lane. Just, Skywrath Mage 1v1 is really bad in Nyx. Add a Tusk to initiate to actually go for those kills, it gets worse. Add a Storm Spirit to add the damage, it gets even worse still. So though it may be Yellow Submarine thinking that, we have a lot of upside for this mid-late game Tusk, or mid-late game Nyx Assassin, rather, it's going to be a much rougher lane this time than mYinsanity had last time. So expect to see this Nyx Assassin get not a lot.
Yeah, he doesn't even have any cosmetics, so it's going to be rough going. Doesn't it?
Are his textures messed up, actually? It seems
feel
really
like it's
smooth.
Yeah, I feel like it's Dota 1 Nyx right now, but either way, he's going to take towards that offlane. That's NY playing the Nyx for Yellow Submarine on the Dire. Towards the mid lane, Barash going to be picking up that Queen of Pain. Kent on the Earthshaker. Windex going to be on the Rubik. And finally over towards that safe lane, Tron picking up the PL.
I actually do feel like his like a base model might be broken. It looks way too smooth. It looks like untextured. But on the mYinsanity side, it's going to be Nico. He's back. He's playing the Clockwork. He's going to be joined by Spartan for a little bit on the Tusk. Got Milan and the Skywrath Mage. Thug is on the Templar Assassin. That leaves Nico Baby on the Storm Spirit. They're going to get into a fist fight with Tron. if you can call that a fist fight. I don't even know if you can. Tusk, as you know, if you read the lore, loves them fights, and he's going to be going into a 2v3. That's a pretty big one with the fissure connecting onto 2. I don't really know if they could follow up onto that, but maybe you throw it for value. Spartan not leveling up anything yet. They do place the sentry, which is going to eventually get rid of this ward. They snowball in onto the Shaker. However, two-man Fissure is there. Barrage is also going to ride. They throw Spartan up to the high ground, actually, which is going to save his bacon, but Nikwa is very dead. That's Wind drawing first blood. They get first blood, however, they lose 2 bounty runes. You know, not as much of an advantage as you would think for yes. Those bounty runes are worth a lot.
Yeah, so they got the D-ward as well, which is 50 gold, and it's a waste of gold for Yes's side. So I think overall it's not that bad for MY. It may even be a win. But as mentioned in the draft, they usually do run Spartan in an aggressive dual lane with this Tusk, and it looks like that's going to be the case for now. The difference with this one is it's going to be dual melee, so it'll be a little bit difficult. But as we mentioned in the draft, if they're able to put pressure on this PL, they should roll through this one.
Or the Rubik. He has 0 armor, and if he's going to get hit with any sort of battery assault with the follow-up right-click damage, then he's going to take an absolute truckload of damage. Shaker is going to be, you know, the X factor in this lane. If he can get a fissure, that'll first of all save whatever ally is going to get snowballed. And against 2 melee heroes, fissure is very easy to land, or at least a lot easier than it ordinarily is. So look towards Khan to play that very defensive role in the Shaker. But hey, if they get out of position, if you wall them off, Van Lancer catches a couple, then you'd force out a defensive snowball from Spartan, and that in and of itself is a win for this yellow Submarine safe lane. Yet still 2v3, and the 3 heroes of the Dire have to be very, very careful. Whereas down towards bottom lane, we can already see this Nyx Assassin is going to take an absolute beating. Milan's going to keep throwing those bolts. Is that enough damage to actually kill him off? No, they're going to dive the tower. Bad idea, Nico Baby. Arcane Bolt still won't get a concussive will, however. Nico Baby taking tower shots. Salve not going to save him. Still worth it, though.
Yeah, it's worth the kill being that the Nyx is dead, but definitely want to see Nico Baby farming the lane, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Although it gives Milan a bit of space to get that level 2 Arcane Bolt when he picks up his level 3, and he'll be able to drop NY pretty low, as you alluded to in the draft. So rough going early on for this Nyx Assassin. It's going to be a tough laning stage for him.
Thug going up against Barrage in a fist fight that is going to ultimately be won by the Templar Assassin. Unfortunately, unable to get those kills up towards top lane. We get a lift up onto Nikwa, saving this Earthshaker. They get a wall off on a Spartan. No snowball, no shards, only level 1, and he's going to get killed off by someone here. It's going to be the Rubik again. Kant with that fissure. Such a difficult hero to deal with this double melee setup. Barrage is going to grab the haste rune, then kill himself to the neutrals. Like that play, don't really want to risk running into a clockwork, but perhaps at this point, it's going to be mYinsanity to play this lane a little bit too aggressively. They are both level 1. Up against now 7 levels worth of hero. I don't like those odds if you're mYinsanity.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for Nikwa rotating out of lane. If he stayed in lane, picked up a creep, maybe he gets a rocket flare kill there. But either way, yeah, he needs to pick up a couple of levels here. It's going to be rough going for him. Spartan returning to lane as well, trying to pick up that level 2. But yeah, so thus far the dual off lane hasn't really been very successful. And as you mentioned, the presence of the Shaker really deterring them from any aggression. And this dual lane configuration has kind of allowed Yes to just not really roam the ES at all and know exactly where he needs to be.
And bottom lane, even though they have killed off the Nyx Assassin once, he's still level 3. Scarith Mage got his mana burned once the Nyx Assassin came back, and doesn't have the regeneration to get back up to a point where he could keep throwing out those bolts. So Milan is essentially a dead hero in this lane, and NY versus the Storm Spirit is going to be able to do just fine. So Nyx Assassin, he's getting a lot of levels, especially when you compare him to the off lanes of the mYinsanity team. So it is going pretty well for Yes, these lanes. A lot better than I really would expect. The weird lane is this Queen of Pain versus Templar Assassin. You would expect maybe TA to pull ahead occasionally, but not by this margin.
Yeah, I mean, we said that Thug is comfortable on this hero, and it's more than the truth. But yeah, for him to be doubling up the Queen of Pain in CS right now is a little bit peculiar. Of course, Barash was out of lane for a bit, having died, and maybe was a little too much hubris there, trying to man up versus the TA. But either way, I guess that's the one saving grace for this early game for MYI.
Yeah, this Templar Assassin can just take control of the game if she's off to a good start. And this is a good start for the Templar Assassin. It's not too late for it to become a bad start, but man, Barash just wants to throw a dagger. Suddenly 2 Psy spills, and this Queen of Pain is really messed up. Bottle isn't even working for her because she was forced to suicide herself, so that was time off the lane, not getting a ton of CS either. She needs her bottle though. Like, Thug is trying his darndest to line up these side shots, and even though they may not be landing all the time, he has the sustain and Barash does not. So a single one to land, and that's going to give the TA a lot of advantage in that lane. 2-3 in Yellow Submarine. They still have to work with this 2v3 lane up towards top, but now that Rubik is level 3, Shaker should also be there, and he is. I actually am not sure if it's possible for mYinsanity to get kills in this top lane anymore. They have to go for Rubik without Shaker being there.
I mean, I guess the one point that bodes well for mYi using this dual offlane is that they have forced the Shaker to be present in this lane, and therefore Barash is kind of getting manhandled in this mid lane. So it hasn't won them, the lane, but perhaps indirectly getting them an advantage in that mid lane. And Thug is very capable on this TA. So as you mentioned, if he gets a good start, could be a very scary. Elsewhere though, NY picking up level 5 already on this Nyx Assassin, and it's almost as if Milan is completely abandoned, standing there and harassing him. He did get some clarities over, though, so maybe now they look to go in on him.
Well, he's going to use Spike Carapace, then he gets Concussive Shot. There's a pullback, but the Storm is way too far away. In the meantime, mid lane, Thug trying to dive deep for Barrage, but he's not going to be able to get that kill. He gets picked off by Wind. Again, Rubik now on a killing spree. Level 4 as well, and 2-4 in favor of the Yellow Submarine side. mYinsanity, this top lane, as you said, even though it is forcing the Shaker to stick around, the Tusk could also be on the bottom lane. They could be shutting down this Nyx Assassin a lot more with the ability to initiate with the Snowball. If they had the Snowball after that seal, then that probably would be a dead bug, but instead these lanes are just kind of waffling around for mYinsanity, not really accomplishing that much. Yeah,
and Thug dying mid is pretty much the only advantage that they had being taken, so yeah, it's definitely there's definitely cause for concern for this early game for mYi. They are going to start to roam Spartan around though on the Tusk. He's going to at least do some stacking for now, maybe show his head, poke his head in the bottom lane and look to find a kill on that Nyx. But NY is going to pick up level 6 soon, so don't know how long he's really going to be staying in this lane.
Well, as long as he can get free experience as a Nyx Assassin, you go ahead and do that. As far as viable kills with the Nyx Assassin Vendetta, Scarith Mage really is the only easy one. Like, you could try to pop the Templar Assassin with an Impale out of Vendetta, but then you really will probably lack the damage to kill her off. But, Scarith Mage is the easiest. Storm Spirit has level 6, so he's a little bit more difficult to take down. Up towards top, Nikwa, though, is going to run to the Rubik again. Lifted up, thrown back, Fissure to connect, and a Lance is there as well. Nikwa is going to put up the cogs, which will bump back Tron, but now he's completely swamped, and it should be the Rubik to get this kill again. It will be. Windex is really good at his last hitting, apparently, and, well, now 4-0-0 on this Rubik is getting kind of scarily close to that level 6 mark.
Yeah, already level 4.5, above both the, almost level 5, I should say, above both the Clockwork and the Tusk at this point. And yeah, their coordination has been good. Not the hardest kill to find there a couple of times with all the disable that they have. But either way, they're doing definitely well in this safe lane. And we talked about it in the draft. mY really need to be shutting down this Phantom Lancer, but they haven't been able to do so just yet. So they are gonna need to get this Storm Spirit very active soon. He has picked up his Ball Lightning now, and will pick up that level 7 very soon. So we gotta see him rotate around and maybe find a kill or two on Tron.
Storm Spirit versus an Anti-Mage from Nico Baby of the last game. Gets online a little bit sooner, however, doesn't really have the peak late game that the Anti-Mage had. They're going to go for Barrage. There is no flare here. Both the shards to land and the TA's outrageous damage output. They'll kill off the Queen of Pain. That's only level 1 seal. It's a level 2 seal. So they will kill off the Queen of Pain within the duration of that. And that's a pretty big kill for the mYinsanity side. It is a lot of extra cash for this Templar Assassin, especially after having died to the Queen of Pain. Really did need that extra bit of help, and that was a pretty easy kill on a pretty decently leveled hero as well. If they do make that rotation all the way up towards top lane, they can find themselves with a really large scale team fight that mYinsanity may be able to win, especially off of an Invis rune from Thug that is not spotted by the Dire.
Yeah, invisibility rune can be crucial here. Unfortunately, Nikwa is just a little bit too low at this point. Doesn't have the hook shot quite yet, so maybe they wait for that to go jump in. They've left lane with the Storm Spirit bottom, but he doesn't have nearly enough mana to be rotating around the map. Looks like Barash jumped in and he had to ball away from that one.
It is also Windex to show his face, so getting a little bit more help for this Nyx Assassin. He doesn't have his Arcane Boots just yet, but that will soon come up. Very soon, in fact. Up towards top, Nico is going to get fissured. He's trying to draw Tron in because he also has Spartan right next to him. But with the Clockwork so low, there's not much that the Tusk can do right now. With throw shards, that'll do next to nothing. Nico is going to put up cogs, which will put Tron back in its cage. In fact, getting a bump back twice. Another fissures to connect, and that's going to kill off the Clockwork. Now Spartan is in an awkward position, although Thug is still here with the Invis. One shot, two shot with a Snowball. That's going to kill off the Shaker. Killing off Tron is a little bit difficult. He has to bottle up for just a little bit more mana. Now has a Doppelganger. Sprosh is going to come right in. Sonic Wave to kill off the Tusk, but it will be absorbed by the Refraction from Thug. And it's going to be a 2-for-1 after all said and done up on top. Phantom Lancer, crucially though, does get to survive.
Yeah, the bottle charge is paying dividends there for the Phantom Lancer. He's able to get that doppelganger away, else he was definitely dead. A little bit odd to see the snowball go towards the Earthshaker there. I feel like they could have killed him off regardless, and maybe if they snowball up Tron, they kill him before his support is inbound with the Queen of Bane. But either way, 2-for-1. Things looking very good still in this early game for Yes, but the farmers atop the board are in the hands of mYi.
Oh, Nyx Assassin got jumped. Seal did not quite last long enough, and the damage output wasn't able to kill him off after that Spike Carapace. Only level 1, but if you buy yourself just a little bit of time as Nyx Assassin, sometimes it's all you need to pop that Vendetta. It is a very fast invisibility skill, so he's going to get out of there, but still really has to be careful on this bottom lane. Even more careful still once Milan grabs that Mystic Flare. The Spike Carapace doesn't return like all of the Mystic Flare, because that would be pretty insane, but still, it's still a tool that can kill off a soft hero like Nyx Assassin, who is more so in the armor department than the health.
Double damage rune, I believe, picked up by Barash, so he's got that in tow, waiting perhaps to go mid lane. Windex rotating around, but maybe looking to farm up a bit and commit a pull here. He's almost level 6, has a full set of arcanes as well. You mentioned that great early start that he had, so he can start getting active around the map. Hell of a lot of good spells to steal from the other side. Still haven't seen Nico Baby get active, but he's going to return to base now, and perhaps off the back of that, he can look to find some kills.
As far as timings are concerned for the Storm Spirit, you want to get super active once you get your Bloodstone, but when you have a Clockwork now who has a hook shot, plus Scarith Mage who almost has a Mystic Flare, that might just be good enough to start these fights. Just Nico having the hook shot with the Battery Assault being prioritized over his other skills means that Storm Spirit, if he does jump in, he'll be able to do quite a bit. You don't need to once Milan gets level 6, but he's not quite there yet. Yet they're still going to smoke up, look to use that hook shot, and if anyone, it's going to be Win to get caught over in mid. He's going to show his face, steal Sonic Traps. That's a really good spell to steal. Unfortunately, not right now. He would much rather love to have Refraction because suddenly a million heroes wrapping around. He's going to run to the south. The shards will not see him, but he's completely trapped anyway. Now silenced up. He's not going to last for much longer, though. Rainbow TPs is coming in. They'll Meld Strike one down. Snowball is there. They're going to go straight for this Nyx Assassin. That's in a bad position. No. Where is it going? To a creep? What the hell happened there? Nico's going to get Sonic Wave. Fissure and Lance will kill him off. Spartan now on the run, should be able to survive in a 1-for-1 trade so far. Thug really has to be careful, doesn't have a ton of mana, and everyone from Yellow Submarine, they won't be able to catch up to anyone else. Okay, that was a weird snowball, but at least it didn't go towards the Nyx.
What? They snowballed a friendly creep or something. Barash very low on mana. I was surprised not to see them re-engage there with a TP, but Nico Baby went top. So a little bit odd to see him do that. He's still kind of farming away as if he's an anti-mage. They definitely could use the Mystic Flare, as you mentioned earlier, on top of that Ancient Seal with the Vortex, and that would be perhaps a combo that gets them a little bit more active. Nico playing a little bit safe right now, as he should. The Vendetta coming through from NY is going to be just moments too late to pick him off.
This is a level 9 Storm Spirit at this stage. He is worth a hell of a lot if Yellow Submarine actually do find an angle to kill him, but it's going to be a little bit difficult. If you have anti-mage playstyle on the mind, then you're going to be, well, always looking for the rotations in. You're going to keep yourself very safe while farming, and you really shouldn't be dying to those types of ganks. The Scarith Mage now has level 6, so should Nico land a hook shot in the future, it is probably just going to result into an instant kill, unless they botch it with like the seal and you get to doppelgang out or you get to blink out. I don't think any of the yes heroes are able to withstand that. They have to have like 2 heroes in the cogs so that they split the Mystic Flare damage, but then they're still getting hit with a huge Mystic Flare, so yeah, things get really dangerous. They're going to smoke up again, looking for round 2. Round 1 was a little bit rough, and round 2, it looked like it'll still be on to win. Has Arcane Bolt, not really a good skill to steal, although no, they see Kant. They'll hook shot him in. Where's the cogs? No mana for it. They will silence him. No flare just yet. Not even needed. Big ball ending in from Nico Baby. Not to too much avail, but still, Shaker down for free.
Yeah, and MY doing a good job of staying together, and for that reason, they effectively shut down NY's Nyx Assassin. I mean, he's level 8, he's had Vendetta for a while, and he hasn't been able to really get much done off the back of it. I mean, he's really only been involved in 5-man engagements toward the mid lane, so it's smart play from mYi. They're playing aggressive, they're staying together, and not allowing anyone to be vulnerable to this Nyx.
Thug has a Desolator, man. This is really scary for Yellow Submarine, especially if you're this Rubik. He has refraction, so maybe he blocks that meld strike. But Templar Assassin, not quite looking at like, you know, 2-shot range, but you really have to deal with this hero really quickly. If you're not focusing her first, she's going to make you regret that. She did get the tower deny on the bottom lane with the outrageous amount of damage she's able to put out. And these timings are actually lining up pretty well for the mYinsanity side. Storm Spirit still a little bit away towards his Bloodstone, but he should have that one pretty soon. The hookshot, the flare, the Desolator, all more or less being lined up. Nico Baby now going to get jumped by the Vendetta. Windex is here as well with refraction damage, but NY, no, he's not going to go just yet. In fact, Windex is going to get jumped. Nico Baby, though, is going to get impaled in the end. Mana Burn's going to do a lot of damage with the Snowball. They'll keep him safe. He has enough mana to get out of there. In fact, they'll Snowball him out. And now with the Mystic Flare, NY walks right back into it. A couple more right clicks is all they need. One more bolt, is that lethal? It looks like it should be. Windex is going to do the best he can after that stolen flare, but it's going to connect onto 0 heroes. Nico Baby's going to teleport out. Kant is going to come in, look for Milan. They have the sigil overhead, so Spartan is going to have a little bit of extra vision right now, but he's up against so many heroes right now. Another snowball is needed if he's going to survive this, but it's not going to buy him a ton of space right now. Echo Slam is committed, and he will go down. It's still a 1-for-1 trade after all is said and done, and Thug, he's split pushing really hard. I guess Phantom Lancer is pushing as well, but I don't think Phantom Lancer can outrace a TA with the Desolator.
Yeah, and if they find a couple of pickoffs here, they could definitely jump into the Roche pit as well for MY. We're going to see Thug TPing top, and they're going to look to maybe get aggressive, but no Storm Spirit present. He had to stop the push in the bot lane. The hookshot is available for Nikwa, though, and they may see Barash here jump into tower range. It is nighttime, so the vision is a little bit limited right now, but Barash shows his face. He may be picked off. The tower is well within deny range, so they can bring this down.
Unfortunately, the creeps reveal Nikwa's position. Not like they had enough heroes to do anything with that anyway. Milan is a little bit too far away, and the Templar Assassin doesn't have a blink. If you get a blink on TA, if you hookshot, blink, TA, Desolator hit, that might be enough to just kill off a Queen of Pain before she can actually get a blink out. It's going to be a narrow timing, but never underestimate the damage of a Templar Assassin with so much minus armor. The Bloodstone on the Storm Spirit is very, very close to completion now, and it's a pretty fast one at that. Yellow Submarine, they're going to go on the offensive, with still the Mystic Flare being held by Wind, looking for this Storm Spirit. Unfortunately for them, they're going to run to Spartan. It's still probably going to be a kill, and that's all well and good, but they really, really wanted to get Nico Baby before he completed that Bloodstone.
Yeah, he definitely can start getting active once he picks that up as well, as you mentioned. And they have the Skywrath combo. Milan doing pretty well, sitting on level 7 as a Skywrath mage, right near the bottom of the board. But levels are looking good, above the Earthshaker, above the Tusk, on par with the Clockwork right now. So definitely as Spartan respawns, look for them to gather up, look for a pick, maybe go into Roche after that. And still 2 tier 1s left, and with the TA, they're definitely going to look to take those fairly soon.
Nico Baby is going to have his Bloodstone soon. They have a Blink Tiger on this Templar. Man, Thug is going to be able to do so much damage, and the Phantom Lancer hasn't really been slowed down. In fact, 105 on Tron is a really good score on a PL, not to mention the CS that he has behind that. Is not keeping up with the Storm Spirit and Templar Assassin necessarily, but Yale Submarine aren't really losing too much in the way of objectives just yet. Only 1 tier 1 tower has actually been taken, so this Phantom Lancer looks like he'll get a lot of extra time to actually farm up and get a lot more value out of these travels, unless mYinsanity step up the heat in a big way very soon. Looks like they're going to look towards the mid lane to do so. Unfortunately, they can't get their hands on the Queen of Pain, so yeah, the aggression from mYinsanity should be coming up right now. We'll see how much it's actually able to accomplish. So far, Nikwa's Clockwork actually hasn't done anything, but still Hookshot is available with that Mystic Flare. Always have to fear that combo.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Tron, I mean, his farm is decent, but I'm really not a fan of the build this game. This is something that Aggressive from C-Deck popularized. Brown Boots, Drums, Aquila into Travels, and that is because C-Deck has a super aggressive playstyle as a team, and they want to get their PL involved in fights early. I feel like Diffusal Rush would have been much more appropriate for this game. It's good against the other lineup. It helps the farming speed out, but we'll see if the Travels pay off now. He's going to TP down to this bot lane. They've scouted out the Roshan, but with Thug hitting as hard as he is, they're melting this before anyone can really make a response. They're going to hook shot up to the high ground. Find Brash. Mystic Flare, Walrus Punch. That's a dead Queen of Pain. Roshan getting low as well. They're still trying to fight, though. Echo Slam is going to be there. They're going to be able to bring down Nico Baby, presumably, but no, he'll ball up to the high ground, and Thug will bring down the Earthshaker. He'll be able to blink up to safety as well. Now Tron all by his lonesome in the pit. He's going to be sharded up. Psionic Trap is there, but he will be able to make it out to the east. They're going to try and snowball towards him. It should be just short, and it is. Nice impale coming out from the Nyx Assassin. They're going to be able to bring down Nico Baby still, though. 3 heroes up and healthy for the Radiant side. They're going to try and jump forward, but the blink out will keep the Dire side safe for now. Trying to chase down Windex. Impale will be there for Nikwa. The blink should be cooling down in just a second for Thug. He should be able to blow up the Rubik. Here he is. And now they can take this Roshan with relative ease. And overall, big drawn-out engagement goes extremely well for the Radiant side.
It was so weird seeing everyone from mYinsanity somehow get onto this top cliff, but after all said and done, they kill out the Queen of Pain first before she could really do much of anything. The Sonic Wave was good. It hit onto a lot of heroes, but it just wasn't quite good enough from there. Now they're onto Tron. Snowball forward, and they go through the illusions. They see him, but it's only Spartan here. This is a total bluff from this Tusk, and it looks like it's not going to be called by Tron. At least it will be called a little bit too late. Aegis now claimed by the Storm Spirit. Nico maybe did die in that fight. Oh, big ball lightning jump in. He wants Tron pull back in. He's invisible, but there's a Sentry on the high ground. Nico maybe still sees him, but now with the mana burn, he does not have enough mana to give chase. Looks like the PL will survive. What was I saying? The initiation there from Yellow Submarine was decent, but man, the fact that Storm Spirit died there was actually not bad for mYinsanity. Everyone else that was with the Storm Spirit after that snowball into Impale was very, very low with the Fade Bolt and the and the Impale, but the Bloodstone healed them up back to full, and that actually is what let mYinsanity continue that fight. And that is also Thug surviving with 2,000 gold now in the bank and the Aegis still on the team. That's step one for mYinsanity. Get Aegis. It was a rough fight for sure, but it's a fight that they actually did win in the end. Now they do have the double life, and they should be able to, at the very least, take this top tier 1 tower. In fact, they'll do it so quickly they may even feel inclined to go for the tier 2.
Yeah, things looking much better for MYI now. The Tron is farming decently well and has two components, two Blades of Alacrity towards his Diffusal Blade, but he desperately needs it at this point. Nico Baby is starting to get fat, has picked up that Ogre Club, has 6 charges on his Bloodstone and the Aegis, so he can get very aggressive, and with only the mana burn from Nyx to burn his mana, he's going to be able to have a lot of control over these engagements.
Mid lane will be defended by the mYinsanity side as they have taken the top tier 1. Nikwa looking for Tron, who teleported down to bottom from mid. But yeah, the split push from Yellow Submarine, it is probably their best tactic. If they get a kill on Nikwa, that'll be big. He'll put up the cogs, but it's a little bit too late. Nikwa again gonna drop 0, 5, and 4 on this clock. Has yet to do anything in this game, and I guess it's not all bad for mYinsanity. They get the pick off of the next Assassin in an even 1-for-1 trade, but this Phantom Lancer is pushing really fast with Barash's help, and mYinsanity need to do something about this. They're going to teleport in on the Storm Spirit, has the Aegis. It doesn't have a ton of mana, however. Can it even get close enough to Barash? Shards will be thrown, which will see Barash, and they'll also see Tron, who's actually sticking around in the Shards. He just got abandoned by his teammates. I don't know if you can escape this as a Phantom Lancer, especially once the Meld Strikes start flowing. The player is going to completely whiff, but it doesn't matter because Thug does not miss. They kill out the Phantom Lancer.
Yeah, that was, I mean, I don't blame Barash for the play, but maybe the reaction was a bit too slow from the PL there. Either way, he's going to feed over his life. They tried to get both kills there. Nico Baby looking to cancel the TP, but knowing that the Sonic Wave was down, they want to find both the Queen Pain and the PL, but they get the more important kill. They keep Tron down for a bit. He buys out the Robe of the Magi, though, so only a recipe away from his Diffusal Blade. Either way, very nice kill going MYI's way, and they save their tier 2.
I'm concerned that mYinsanity aren't getting quite enough. They only have a 4k lead in both Gold and Experience, and though that is very nice if you're working with an anti-mage, it's not really that great, and you have Storm Spirit TA versus a Phantom Lancer who's still getting quite a bit of farm. They need a lot more than this. This time they're going to find a tower without being split pushed by the yes side. In fact, they may want to go for this tier 2, not the top tier 2 in the end. But this Phantom Lancer is still pretty much where he wants to be. And now he's going to start losing some map control since these towers are going to start dropping. But unless mYinsanity get a really good team fight out of nowhere, it is going to be pretty hard for them to keep up with this Phantom Lancer's effectiveness as Phantom Lancer gets more farm.
Yeah, shards are going to fly out from Spartan, but a full 5-man smoke coming out from the dark side. They're going to jump forward with the Impale onto Thug. He had his refraction up, though. Mystic Flare is going to drop. Mystic Seal, or the Ancient Seal is there. The Nyx Assassin goes down. Big Echo Slam, though, from Ken. They're going to bring down pretty much the entire Radiant lineup. Storm Spirit going to be respawning here. Spartan trying to delay some time. Earthshaker will be brought down with ease from the Storm Spirit, and now he's going to just ball out to the west and cut his losses at this point. Very nice engagement coming out from a yes. Huge Echo Slam is what saves that one for them.
Templar Assassin really needs a BKB if she's actually going to stand in those types of fights. She is an assassin hero, go figure. So if she's in those large scale fights, even though she may have the refraction to block the impale damage, block the mana burn damage, eventually something is going to cut through that. And it just happened to be that the skill that cut through is an Echo Slam from the Earthshaker. So Templar Assassin now will start buying up that BKB, realizing how much of a threat that was. But it's a really big hold from Yellow Submarine. They're going to skyrocket in net worth in all their heroes, and we'll see how much it actually ends up being in as far as the EXP and Gold Swing in just a little bit. But mYinsanity did not expect that initiation. With the Storm Spirit, Templar Assassin, Blink Dagger, Snowball, Hookshot, they're the ones that are supposed to be initiating, not the other way around.
Yeah, they clumped up quite a bit as well, and easy pickings for Kent there on the Earthshaker. Very nicely placed by him. Just kind of picking up a Blink Dagger out of nowhere. I mean, it is 24 minutes in the game. You expect an Earthshaker to have it by now, but I really was able to farm up once he had that space in the safe lane as opposed to having to roam around. So things looking very good now for the Dire side, as you mentioned. Not sure really if the Radiant has gotten enough beforehand, but 9-second BKB available on the Queen of Pain as well. Nico Baby gonna find a pick off, which is a nice one. Nikwa gonna find the hook shot as well, and they'll bring down Kent with ease. So instant response from the Radiant side. This will be a free tier 2 and maybe even a poke at the tier 3.
They might as well go for it. They don't have to worry about an Echo Slam. They don't have to worry about 2 heroes, and they have a Desolator on TA. That was the type of initiation that I would expect from mYinsanity for, a long time now. They jumped from these wards that you see, and they got the Nyx Assassin kill immediately just with one hit shot from Thug. Nikwa finally lands a skill, and they're going to go for the Rubik, blow him up in one shot as well. And also onto Barash, who's going to blink in. Desolator going to cut right through. Storm Spirit going to chase forward. Doesn't have a ton of mana. Barash will blink into the base. But man, the burst damage here from mYinsanity is real, but that is going to commit them a lot into the enemy base, whereas the tier 3 tower is still going to stand. They're going to snowball the Templar Assassin out. I guess that's some way to retreat. And the tower will be held, but mYinsanity finally starting to use their mobility to get these initiating kills on the ES side. Of course, the Yellow Submarine not really in any position to fight those, but man, Nikwa hasn't really been doing too much. Finally, he actually lands a hookshot that leads into a kill.
A little bit odd to see them not go objective-based gaming there. I think they dove a bit deep for that Queen of Pain who had her BKB up. It was very unlikely that they kill her off having already used the Meld Strike. She is able to blink to the fountain. I think they get that tier 3 with relative ease if they don't dive that deep. But either way, it's sitting pretty low. So they got a significant amount of damage done there. And they get out without any casualties. And Thug picks up his BKB.
That's a big item pickup from the Templar Assassin. But over towards mid, Milan is going to get dropped. Sonic Wave was used there. And Vendetta was used as well. But for a Skywrath Mage, no Aghanim Scepter on the Queen of Pain. Is that actually okay for the mYinsanity team? If they group up on top lane and start pushing that again, or any other lane really, they should be able to take these towers without worrying about a Sonic Wave. That's a good portion of Yellow Submarine's damage down the tubes.
Yeah, much like they did with the Echo Slam. As soon as they knew that cooldown was off, they grouped up and looked for a tier 2 and found even a little bit more. So, yeah, probably look for mYi to get a little bit aggressive, if nothing else, maybe towards the pit once this Skywrath picks up. Or respawns here. There's only about 10 seconds to minimum spawn on the Roche, so could be up really soon and perhaps in mYi's favor.
Yellow Submarine don't have any sort of easy scouting tool for this one. It'll be most likely Phantom Lancer illusions or random support, but oof, the Roshan respawn is long. Really long, and that is going to favor Yellow Submarine. The longer they don't have to worry about a push, the more time and space this Phantom Lancer gets to farm. Big jump in towards Wind X. Storm Spirit looking for the solo kill, is going to find it right before the fissure comes in, but there's the follow-up chain slot. Echo Slam plus the Vendetta hit. Nico Baby still not dead just yet. Has a BKB. He will pop it, get up to the high ground. Sonic Wave not available. Queen of Pain doesn't really want to blink over that edge. Doesn't know what's on the other side. Nico going to put up the cogs. Trap Tron. Nico Baby should be able to teleport out with the BKB still holding. Impale will kill him off in the base, and now Nico's also going to fall. I thought for sure Storm Spirit was going to survive, but now they're onto Barash with another fissure. Spartan in a little bit of trouble. Has a snowball available. Mystic Flare, sure, why not? But this snowball is not going to result into good things for the Tusk. He'll go down in a blaze of glory, but it is going to be 3 kills for the Yellow Submarine side. Nico Baby's back up because he had so many Bloodstone charges, but I don't know what killed him. It was something weird. Maybe the Remnant into Spike Carapace?
Yeah, I have no idea. He got really low there from a couple of records, but a huge ball lightning is pretty much going to take away all the Nyx Assassin's health. A little bit of a vengeance kill there for Nico Baby. Barash going to pop the BKB, try and fight up against them, but they have nothing to cancel this TP. Good heads up play from Milan. He'll make it out, and he allows Nico Baby to just walk out to the east and meet up with Thug. Unfortunately, as we alluded to before, Roshan not going to spawn just yet. So yes, can't really grab anything immediately off of that, but either way, mid lane, they're able to make it out. Sonic Wave, once again, though, up for the Queen of Pain. And it looks like Yes are willing to fight.
Man, Nico Baby's just going all in with these ball lightnings, using so much of his mana to get in. has no backup plan in case he gets dropped. He does have a suicide backup on his Bloodstone, and in the meantime, the tier 2 bottom lane was dropped by Thug, so, they're buying a lot of space for this Templar Assassin to start split pushing. Not really the fastest split pusher, but no anti-mage, but yeah, still can get the job done in a pinch. Still, it's 19-21, and mYinsanity, their gold lead on the Phantom Lancer is starting to slow down. They need to take Raxes really soon, or just pick off the Phantom Lancer and try to look for some sort of team fight at any sort of scale, really. They're going to wait for this Roshan. With its Psionic Trap, they will know exactly when he's up again, but by that time, Queen of Pain will have BKB Sonic Wave back up again. Echo Slam will also probably be back up. It will be back up. And Phantom Lancer will have that much extra farm, so it's not even going to be a free Roche for the mYinsanity side. In fact, it's going to be a really tough fight.
Definitely so. Full Yasha picked up as well by Tron, so he's going to have a Manta fairly soon here, if that's the route he opts for. The Orchid picked up very late from this Storm Spirit, but it could be nice up against the Earthshaker or the Rubik. You definitely don't want to drop it on the Queen of Pain, who already has a BKB up. Maybe they get the pick off on the PL, though. Shards are going to scout out the Rubik briefly. The rest of the lineup, though, or at least a couple members of the lineup, are invisible. And they are going to jump in for the Rubik with the Orchid. They're going to find him on top of the BKB. Nico Baby going to be more than safe. Maybe this gives them the opening to go into Roshan here. They do have the BKB off cooldown, or on cooldown now, though, for the Storm Spirit, so they definitely need to be careful. This is a level 2 Roche. It's not the easiest to bring down, especially solo for Thug.
Submarine don't have any way of getting vision, however, and Conta's in a little bit of trouble. He'll get jumped as well. One shot, two shot, will kill him off. No BKB on Storm, no problem. Phantom Lancer illusions are going to be the most annoying thing here for the mYinsanity side to deal with, but now with 2 heroes down, they can go in and not worry about too much. The Flare will keep on scouting. They have the Sigil also overhead, and they should be able to grab this Roshan. Big jump in again from Nico Baby, and that's an expensive usage of the BKB to take down a Rubik, but killing off the Shaker thereafter made it, in the end, totally worth it for them. It should be a double life now for this Storm Spirit, so he can go ham, and even if he dies, not a big deal. And now here's where it gets scary from Yellow Submarine. They've gotten a good amount of farm in the downtime of Roshan's respawn, but losing those 2 heroes without any sort of contest for this Roche means that the push is going to be coming, and it's going to be coming really hard. Thug, though, a little bit away from his Daedalus. He would love to have that item before this is truly going to come to a climactic position in this game, but still, maybe he'll actually get it if he takes this tier 2 tower, perhaps.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a misstep there from Kent on the Earthshaker. They had a Dire Ward on the Roche Pit cliff, and from the pit, it was de-warded, and an observer was placed. So he was well aware that they knew he was there, but hung around a little bit too long. Nice jump from Nico Baby. They're going to find Rubik once again on Nico Baby. Nice shards placement there from the Tusk, and that'll keep him walled in. And they will be able to retreat here and probably take down this tier 2 contested. So last couple of minutes have been really good, favoring the momentum of myi.
The responses from Yellow Submarine have been a little bit slower than you would expect. Like, everyone who's getting jumped is getting immediately destroyed. And with the Blink Dagger in both Shaker and Fissure, you would expect at least a mana burn for damage value on Nico Baby to come through and maybe make mYinsanity a little bit more scared. But instead, they're just dropping those kills immediately. They're looking for initiation now. Nico, oh, ball lightning in. They're onto Barrage this time. Can they kill off this Queen of Pain? No BKB, and they'll take her down. Nico Baby does use his own BKB, and a buyback from Queen of Pain means that now they have to fall back. They have no hookshot. They don't have BKB on Storm. Will they actually lose anyone? No. Yellow Submarine buy back on their Queen of Pain to do absolutely nothing. mYinsanity, they group up again, and they'll be fine. They take a tier 3 tower. They don't take range Raxes, nor do they put a lot of damage into melee, but they force a buyback out of the Queen of Pain, and that in of itself is a win, especially when Storm Spirit in just 40 seconds can go in again with another BKB, another hookshot, and still have the Aegis.
Yeah, that's exactly the play. You wait for the BKBs to cool down, keep the lane pushed in, you probably go back. Unfortunately, the lane is quite a ways back for myi, so they are going to have to jump back and push that out, but well worth the 7-second BKB could charge on Nico Baby there to force the buyback out from Barrage. That's going to really stifle his item progression here. He's not going to have that Hex anytime soon.
And now the Daedalus is up on the Templar Assassin. We've already been seeing, big ball landing in onto Kant, who's up on the high ground. This time there's a response from the Rubik. Is going to be response enough, though, because Kant can't get down from here easily. Rubik is going to steal Remnant. Not exactly anything to write home about, and Nico Baby's going to snag yet another kill. He does not have Travels. Do you consider buying Travels to go back up to the top lane? That may be what he's considering right now, but hey, either way, no Shaker means that this push is going to be that much stronger, especially with the Daedalus up on this Templar Assassin. Yeah. So this Nico Baby Storm Spirit has been playing super aggressively, kind of recklessly, kind of carelessly, but it hasn't been punished enough. In fact, he's 11-3-4, and it's been getting his team so much momentum. He's actually going to catch Barrage as well. This Storm Spirit is going to maybe kill off the Queen of Pain by himself, and he will. 2 kills for Nico Baby, and the fight starts over on the top lane. Thug is gonna get swarmed with illusions immediately, but put into the snowball will be just fine. Now he's gonna leave, but still is getting his mana drained. Has to BKB, and now he's gonna try to go for Tron, but the damage isn't there from Thug. Back on the back line, Nico's gonna try to go for Windeck. Nico Baby is finally going to arrive, but Thug has to make his retreat already. Tron doing so much damage, but doesn't have True Sight. That's a little bit awkward. He'll go instead for Spartan. That's just as good, and they also catch Nico with an Echo Slam. They'll take him down as Nico Baby, he's left all alone. He has the Aegis, gonna try to go for a kill onto this Phantom Lancer. Will get the kill as well, and still fighting. Might even get the Earthshaker here. He will, in fact, with still the Aegis. No more damage output coming off this Rubik. He'll take 3 before he dies, and Thug is still around with the Desolator and Daedalus. Phantom Lancer is gonna be forced to buy back. I don't know if mYinsanity can kill the Phantom Lancer off again, but they force so many buybacks again, and they still, well, they don't have the Aegis. Nico Baby should be just fine here. Just ball lightning, use all your mana, get away. In fact, you will do just that. That's a huge amount of lead now being accrued by the mYinsanity side. Still no structural damage, or at least no significant structural damage, but golden experience, that's just as good.
Yeah, it was incredible to see how well Tron was holding there before Nico Baby finally arrived at the fight from the mid lane. But once he did, just cleaned up absolutely everyone. Still had that Aegis, as you mentioned. Forces out a couple of buybacks. Bringing down that Queen of Pain mid lane is absolutely massive, as she had already used her buyback, had that on cooldown. So unfortunate for them, they don't get any structural damage done, but huge amount of economical damage. Couple of buybacks there, 3 in total if you include the earlier one from the Queen of Pain. So now looking at around a 15k net worth lead for the Radiant side.
They're going to smoke up with everyone, minus that Templar Assassin, who's just going to be pushing out the mid lane. Nico Baby very far behind, it looks like, but he has enough mana to get towards Kant if they actually do need to. He had to Blink Dagger, but he couldn't quite get it out. Now Silence Flare still being held. Here comes Storm Spirit. They want to get 2, and they'll get 1 at the very least. Cogs are up, and NY is screwed. That's 2 kills, both of whom have no buyback. You can see the line drawn. I don't even know where, but probably top lane is where they're going to end up, with 2 fewer heroes to worry about, still with the Storm Spirit having a very full mana pool and Sheepstick available. Yellow Submarine's Phantom Lancer has to hide in his illusions and hope to God that he doesn't get hexed.
Yeah, a little bit of economical play from Milan as well there. He holds on to the Mystic Flare, so still has a very healthy mana pool. They can take this, at least this lane, with ease. Mid maybe a little harder. Nico Baby gonna jump forward with the Hex, though. He's gonna find Barash. Mystic Flare into the Vortex, and that's a dead Queen of Pain before she can even BKB. No buyback available, of course, for Barash. Has absolutely nowhere near the cooldown for it yet, so it's gonna be at least a tier 3 in this mid lane. 2.5 minutes with the Queen of Pain buyback on cooldown.
And the explosiveness of the Storm Spirit is so much more than we ordinarily see. You would expect, you know, an Orchid first Storm Spirit to be getting these types of kills, but man, he's just ball lightning in from so far away, getting these kills before there's any sort of response from Yellow Submarine. It almost seems like Yellow Submarine are playing with a lot more ping than mYinsanity, which may be the case, but you know, for the most part, you don't really consider that. Thug is going to put into a snowball, saved again from the Phantom Lancer illusions, and top lane has already been taken. 20 seconds until the Queen of Pain is back up. They have an Echo Slam, however, so that is something that mYinsanity have to be really, really scared of. They're going to have the Mech and Scarth Mage Arcane Boots available in just a little bit, and slowly but surely they'll find their openings. They're going to go straight for Windex. He has his Refraction up. Nico Baby can pop another BKB charge. It's 5 seconds at this point, not a big deal, but he will have to fall back after. He's going to get spiked. Mana burn as well is going to hurt. Spartan's going to get slowed down by the Echo Slam. They'll drop the Storm Spirit, but he's back up in literally 1 second. Husk is going to get snowballed. He's going to go to the Creep Wave, and he'll walk his way out of there. Where the hell is he going? To the really far away Creep Wave? I can't believe he got out of there.
Yeah, Radiant side hanging around far too long in the mid lane there. They should have probably, when the Queen of Pain was down still for 15 seconds, just tried to go for the range and get out. But Nico Baby hangs around feeling a little bit hubris there with his BKB still available. And they do feed over a gem. So it is a successful defense of the mid lane for the Dire side. And they do get a gem. Maybe they can establish a little bit of map control back, get some vision, feel a little bit safer, get some farm back up on their PL, who does have the Manta and 3,600 gold at this point, so can look to go for something like a Butterfly, considering that the TA went for a Daedalus over an MKB.
Alternatively, because the Earthshaker just used his Echo Slam, it may be another opening for mYinsanity to go for yet another aggressive dive in. Storm Spirit is, he died, but he had so many Bloodstone charges that he was pretty much not out of the game for any sort of significant amount of time, so he's ready to go. In fact, everyone on mYinsanity, in theory, are ready to go, whereas the Shaker really is not. It's a minute opening, and it looks like it's an opening that mYinsanity are not going to try to exploit. They're instead going to wait for Roshan. Same thing applies. Short Roshan, good for mYinsanity. Longer it is, the better it is for Yellow Submarine, but they are strong. strong enough still to take these fights just because the Storm Spirit is getting such huge initiations off. If you can keep killing off Barrage, man, that's just going to make it so difficult for Yes to defend. Long Roshan respawn. So now mYinsanity, they're going to keep on poking and prodding. Maybe they eventually do wait for it. But yeah, it is Yellow Submarine with a little bit more time to do a little bit of extra farming.
Yeah, and without the vision, Nico Baby can't be nearly as aggressive as he has been up to this point. Still a Rax advantage for them, though. Things are looking good. Jump forward, though, from Windex, and they are going to find Spartan. They're going to try and bring him back into the base with the telekinesis. He's going to be able to snowball, but this should be his death. I don't think Nico Baby really willing to jump in, although he is stalking from the high ground. It's just going to be a dead Tusk.
Yeah, Tusk hugging the wall, trying to put an observer in the enemy base, I suppose. Clearly didn't work out because got himself killed, but there's also a sentry right where he would have placed that observer if he even... Did he place it? It must have gotten dewarded immediately, but yeah, Tusk is way too far ahead of the rest of his team, gets picked off for 30 seconds. Now the course of action is pretty clear for mYinsanity. Wait for Roshan, have the Sonic Trap just as a constant scout, maybe get a couple of extra items on Thug. In fact, it looks like Talisman Evasion is going to be the build for the Templar Assassin that should be built into a Butterfly. And MKB, nowhere close on any of the Yellow Submarine heroes.
Yeah, so Butterfly going to be super effective here. But it looks like it's going to be a Scotty for the PL for now, at least. He's got one ultimate orb in his inventory. Saving for buyback right now. Has more than enough gold for that. Is cooling down in 1 minute. And definitely can't blame him. We will see a Roshan spawn just about at the time that the PL does have buyback. So if they can keep the lane forced out for the dire side there, he can definitely TP in and look to contest that.
Thug is going to find a DD rune. The timing is not going to be perfect, but Nico Baby is actually going to jump right in. Sees NY. This time Glimmer Cape's going to buy him a little bit of space. No detection from Nico. And NY will live. Nico Baby not with a ton of mana, but with so many Bloodstone charges, Orchid, and Sheepstick, they will be able to get a secondary fight. And I don't know if... Yellow Submarine should know that this double damage rune was actually taken by Thug, actually. They had Vendetta scout out that there was a DD rune. You could assume that it was on the TA. But still, Thug... maybe gets a couple hits on Roshan with this one. They're really itching for a fight right now, mYinsanity, with this DD rune. They just need to find their targets, but the targets are a little bit too far away. Storm Spirit a little bit lagging behind. Thug is going to run to Barrage. Big hit, drop him down a third of his HP casually, then just walk away.
Yeah, they forced out the BKB charge, though, and that's pretty crucial here, as they may be able to jump right into the pit pretty confidently, knowing that the magic immunity is on the sideline for the Queen of Pain. They'll be able to do so, and with this meld and how hard the TA is hitting, they'll bring it down extremely quickly. Should be another life for Nico Baby, and knowing how aggressive he's played, this is going to be really vital to their ability to take high ground here.
And Cheese on the Tusk right now, most likely going to ship that to the Storm Spirit if he's able to do so, but this is going to be the crucial push for mYinsanity. They've taken one set of Raxes, which is good, but versus the Phantom Lance with Travels, it's definitely not enough. If they take two, that might just be the death blow. Look towards Storm Spirit. He's going to be jumping in first, as he always has been. It almost seems redundant to have a Clockwork on this team because it seems like Nico Baby is doing enough initiating for the both of them. But yeah, 31 to 25, and mYinsanity going to try to go for mid and bottom, looks like simultaneously. Keeping Yellow Submarine on a very spread out basis is that much better for Nico Baby.
Yeah, it's not often that you can say you have a hook shot to counter initiate, but that seems like it's been the case all game long. Nico Baby going absolutely headlong into these engagements, and with that early BKB pickup, it really has paid off for him, paid dividends. He's been able to jump deep and usually find a very, very crucial target early on. The Queen of Pain seems to be the one dying most often before she even gets her BKB off. Nico Baby gonna jump though. He's just looking to find this range tracks for now. He's gonna have a lot of his mana burn though, and that's the Aegis completely fed over. Doppelganger out from Tron. He'll be completely safe at this point. Do we see the Radiant side commit for this? They're going to at least go for this range racks and then back off. Nico Baby doesn't want to have too much of his mana burned out. The range rack's super low, one hit away from being brought down, but no one going to commit just yet on the Radiant side.
5 intelligence multiplier on 160 intelligence. Yeah, it hurts, man. This mana burn, Nyx Assassin, we said that the early game stage is the roughest point for him. He did okay there, but this is really where Nyx Assassin, just as a hero, becomes insane versus the Storm Spirit and the Skywrath Mage both. They will snag the range racks. It's a little bit of game for mYinsanity, but not exactly a game-winning move, and Storm Spirit does have a cheese again. With a Chain Stun from Yellow Submarine, it's going to be really hard to actually use that cheese, but still they have the flexibility to poke and prod all day long with the amount of burst damage they have and take fights as they come. Bottom lane though is pushing, so they have to fall back, and if they want to go for the tier 3 ranged combo in bottom lane, it's going to take quite a long time. That was not the Aegis that they really wanted
Nah.
to actually use, though. That was a very sloppy move from Nico Baby. Maybe disrespecting this Nick Assassin's burst power a little bit.
Yeah, maybe the one time that he's actually punished a little bit for his very forward play thus far. And yeah, as you mentioned, that's not really what they want out of the Aegis. They still have the cheese, though, so maybe a little bit of silver lining there. Storm Spirit can still play a little bit out of control here. He has 5k gold as well, so it'll be interesting to see what he picks up. They do reset. They pick up the butterfly on the TA now. She has more than enough for buyback as well, so look for them to probably go in off this cheese and try and find at least a mid lane melee Rex.
TA has such an insane amount of damage at this point. 360 a pop, not even considering the crit, the minus armor, and the refraction. So it's easy 400 damage a pop into the armor of Yellow Submarine, and that is a terrifying amount of burst damage. But Milan is going to get bursted down first. He's going to get dropped without any sort of response from the mYinsanity side. It's the Nick Assassin again to provide that initiation for the Yellow Sub side, and that's a minute without the Skywrath Mage. Now, mYinsanity don't necessarily need the Skywrath Mage to make a successful push, but that Ancient Seal is so valuable that they may just end up waiting for it. Glimmer Cape on Rubik. He's looking for the Storm Spirit, won't find him. And mYinsanity are kind of stalled out right now. Yellow Submarine can still stabilize from this point.
They were showing the clockwork in the bottom lane. TA was nowhere on the map, so to be that far forward, they wanted to push all the lanes in. That was definitely the focus from MYI before they went high ground, so that perhaps they could get some damage done in the other lanes while they push. But showing Milan that far forward was a little bit, I feel like, a little bit cocky from them, and they were punished very decisively so from Yes. So well played by them. They're going to stall out the push for the next little while, and maybe even look for a pick of their own. They got NY Vendetta up outside of the base looking for something here. He's not going to find anyone lurking quite yet, and TA will be seen soon in the top lane, but not the most ideal target to go for with the BKB and the Refraction Blink.
Blink Sheep, though, on the Queen of Pain versus the Storm Spirit. That's big game, and Nico Baby doesn't have an Aegis, has cheese, which is significantly worse in this particular scenario when he's pretty much prone to chain stunning. That's the only way that Yellow Submarine kill him off. It's the only way that they have been killing him off, and they have the tools to keep killing him off in such a manner. So Nico Baby really has to be a little bit more careful. If mYinsanity keep this spread out style, then it is eventually going to, end up punishing them in a really decisive manner. Nick Assassin's already showing how he can do it a little bit, but Queen of Pain can kick into gear, and Rubik has been doing it for pretty much the entire game. They're going to smoke up as a full squad. Picking off Phantom Lancer is big, but he does have buyback. In fact, most of the Yellow Submarine should have buyback. Never mind, just Rubik and Phantom Lancer. So they're going to wrap around to the north lane and catch some poor sucker who thinks it's okay to counter push this one out. But the Dire Wave is actually pretty substantial right now, and it will be pushing back towards the Radiant with Nico Baby sitting in a pretty catapulting position. Are they actually going to find anyone here? If you're a Yellow Submarine, you don't expect this, but at the same time, is this going to do anything?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, they need the top lane to push in a little bit more so someone goes and defends that, and that probably will happen sooner than later. Nico Baby just trying to, I guess, find space in the mid lane. No buyback on the Queen of Pain because she did purchase up that Hex, as you mentioned. That could be their downfall for Yes here. There's 6.8k gold on this Storm Spear, so maybe just saving for travels.
It's a trap. Nick Assassin going to show himself with
He
Wind.
used his impale.
Is that good enough? Jump in. Wind is going to get Hex and immediately drop. Nick Assassin the same thing. Sonic Wave's going to fly through on Nico Baby. Can he get his cheese off? He will be able to with the hook shot coming in from the Clockwork. They're onto Barrage and Kant immediately thereafter. Tron is the only one alive, but he's all alone right now. Huge trap plays coming in from mYinsanity. Going to instantly take 4. No, it's actually 5 kills, and now they're going to go right over to mid lane. Tron and Windex versus the world. Oh man, yeah, that was some elaborate trap being set up by mYinsanity.
Yeah, well played by them. Even though the gem was on the other side, they'll now get it back into the hands of their Skywrath Mages. Should be game. They're going to jump forward, try and find Windex. He's going to glimmer, but seems like it's only going to delay the inevitable. Shards are going to keep him to the south, and now he's going to be finished off. Snowball forward as well, trying to find Tron. They're just going to back him into the base for now and probably look to take down these structures. Thug jumping forward, looking to find kills, but needed Desolator damage on these buildings. Glyph is going to be popped, and the Queen of Pain is up in 20 seconds alongside the Earthshaker and the Nyx Assassin. No Echo Slam available, though, so really, the Radiant side don't have to worry about bunching up, and it should be an easy set of Megas.
Oh, the PJ
Milan,
Salt is still here from Milan, but with Mega Creeps, it's going to be what looks like a 2-0 sweep in favor of mYinsanity, with a little bit of BM to top things off. I'm not even sure if that's friendly banter or whatever, but it is going to be everyone from Yellow Submarine to die again. Thug, he's going to not even die just yet to the Phantom Lancer. Now melded. Don't move, Thug. You're going to be fine. Gem is on the floor right now, so Tron can still get this kill. Tron, no. Leave Nico alone. He didn't do anything to you. Why you gotta be like that? Here comes Nico, baby. Oh, there's actually gems everywhere, dude. What the hell?
One for each eye, I suppose, but
Thug
really
is
well
gonna
played.
sneak in.
Thug is actually going to jump out, yeah. And they'll find the kill before all is said and done. I guess the admin not looking to pop this because of all the fun chat happening, but either way, extremely well played by Nico Baby on a hero that we never really see him on, so very admirable by Milan to draft him something that just looked good in the situation and wasn't necessarily a comfort hero. Sometimes you got to go for those YOLO picks and make it work, and very decisive series. MY take it 2-0.
Both these two teams have been kind of underestimated throughout this entire tournament, especially Yellow Submarine. They're still not out of it just yet. They'll drop down to the losers bracket finals. They have no idea who their opponents are going to be yet, but they'll find out sooner or later. mYinsanity have a nice comfy spot in the grand finals, guys. This is going to be not quite the end of the day. Oh, next game is going to be in 2 hours. That's a little bit awkward. Damn you, mYinsanity. Why'd you have to win so fast? The scheduling is all off, but yeah, it's going to be happening a little bit later. I believe that's Aspera versus Alternate. Yes, that is going to be the case. So that's going to be in 2 hours, guys. Stream will probably go down for a little while before then, but we hope you enjoyed this cast. We hope you enjoyed the games. Congratulations to mYinsanity for their win. And I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by MRP Dota for this best of 3. If you enjoyed the casting, follow us on Twitter at Mike Loris, at MRP_Dota. It's all in the title. It's all on screen. And we'll see you guys in a little bit for the secondary series of the day. GG.
GG.